What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and it is finally time to bring you the Pyromancer build. So if you saw my Let's Play of Dark Souls 3, you may already be familiar with this character. Obviously, he has changed quite a bit, no longer running around in crappy armor with a fire lucerne, but instead now he is a beast of a hybrid Pyromancer, bringing plenty of melee damage to the table while still being incredibly devastating with spells. And I want to say outright that out of all of my characters, I easily have the most hours on this character. One, because it was the character from the Let's Play, but on top of that, because Pyromancies are my favorite types of spells in Dark Souls, and thus I did a ton of testing and tweaking on this guy to make him as awesome as he possibly could be, while still being at level 120. So to look at the stats, the main points you're going to want to hit with this are 17 dex for a weapon requirement, 40-40 on intelligence and faith to get a lot of bang for your buck out of your pyromancies, your attunement at 30 for your 5 spell slots, and then vitality, strength, and luck are all left at base with the pyromancer starting class. Vigor and endurance distribute how you wish. I ended up going for a 30-30 split, which I felt gave me enough life to be successful in PvP and plenty of endurance to still get around. Now, one thing I want to point out while we're still here is there's still a lot of testing being done, and I don't know if the actual soft caps on Pyromancy are kind of set in stone yet, but the general consensus is that they're right around 40-40. Some people are saying that they're 45-45, but either way, going up to 40-40 on Intelligence and Faith will allow you to see really nice returns on your spells, so I would recommend hitting that point. Going into the equipment, let's talk about the fashion because I love how this build looks. So we are rocking the Ragged Mask, the Dragon Scale Armor, the Grave Warden Wraps, and then the Fallen Knight Trousers. And I gotta say, I love how this all comes together because it kind of gives this, kind of like battle-hardened, weary warrior look who's just been, going from battle to battle, and his clothes are all in tattered rags. On top of that, we even took Hawkwood Shield, which also kind of has that look to it, over the other shields available, just to stay with that beautiful fashion motif. I mean, I know you guys are already aware that I have this massive erection for fashion when it comes to builds, and this is probably my favorite. I mean, the OP build looks really cool for a knight, but this just, it looks so good. So as for our actual weapons, we're running a Chaos Falchion plus 10, Witch's Locks plus 5, of course Hawkwood Shield, and then the Pyromancy Flame plus 10. Now, as for the Chaos Falchion, there's a couple options you could pick as long as they meet the 12 Strength, 17 Dex thresholds we've set. Chaos Wing Spear was another choice, but just looking at the stat difference here, you can see, and given it is plus 9, so a little bit biased here, but even at plus 10, the damage is barely better than the Chaos Falchion, which is kind of odd considering we have AA scaling on this and only CC scaling on this. So ultimately I decided to go with the Falchion as my primary weapon for this build, mainly because I like the fact that we got fast R1s to keep up with the kind of longsword meta we're seeing right now. Nice running connect, nice rolling attack, and all in all, I was just really comfortable with it after using it in the Let's Play. As for the Witch's Locks, this is basically our dual ender. The rolling R1 attack is fantastic at catching opponents using heavy weapons or even faster weapons as they're recovering from an attack. On top of that, the weapon art with the Witch's Locks is absolutely devastating. The range on this, we're able to basically hit people who are over at that balcony. And you'll see some of that later in the PvP, but incredibly powerful. And on top of that, that last whip with the flame right there can hit for 300 to 400 damage, so quite powerful in its own right. As for Hawkwood Shield, the parry frames on this are actually pretty respectable, so, you're not really losing out taking this over, say, a buckler or a small leather shield. And then, of course, the Pyromancy plus 10 for obvious reasons. As for our ring choices, we're going with Great Swamp Ring, Witch's Ring, Sage Ring, and then Scholar Ring. Now, to hit the stat caps we have on this build while still staying at level 120, one of your ring slots is going to have to be a stat ring. Whether you choose the Scholar Ring or the one to boost your faith or the one to boost your dex is up to you, but one of those slots is going to have to be the ring for you to get these stats and still be 120. Sage's Ring we ended up taking because even though our casts are already pretty fast as a Pyromancer, it allows us to really just chuck out those Pyromancies extremely fast, and especially as powerful as Great Chaos Fire Orb can be, that ends up being quite devastating. As for our other choices, using the Witch's Ring, pretty obvious because of the huge boost it gives to Pyromancies, and then similar to the Sorcery build, we took the lesser boosting ring, Great Swamp Ring in this case, over the Fire Clutch Ring, because even though Fire Clutch Ring would have helped out our Chaos Falchion and Witch's Locks, the damage is just slightly better than the Great Swamp Ring, but of course we end up taking a big hit to our absorptions. As for our spells, we are running Great Chaos Fire Orb, Chaos Storm, and then Fire Whip. Now, of course, Great Chaos Fire Orb and Chaos Storm both cost 2 attunement slots each, but I'm okay with that. In testing, and in terms of just straight damage, the damage on hit, Chaos Bed Vestiges will hit harder than Great Chaos Fire Orb. With that being said, if you take the damage from Fire Orb and the damage from the lava pool, you do have higher damage potential than Bed Vestiges. Chaos Storm, in a similar fashion, ends up having more damage per pillar than Firestorm, and in addition, you can see we have tons of lava pools, making it an ideal spell to help handle gankers. Fire Whip is our main finisher. On top of that, it's a great misdirection spell. Basically, you end up retreating a little bit, start casting Fire Whip, and then flip around and hit your enemy with it, doing tons of damage. Damage that's actually almost on par with Sacred Flame. And while I really wanted to work Sacred Flame into this build, ultimately, because of the White Hair Talisman glitch, so many people are hyper cautious of it right now. And on top of that, it's exceedingly hard to hit, whereas we actually have a combo of going Chaos Storm into Fire Whip that's almost a guaranteed kill on hosts. Once they recover from the knock-up, you start casting a Fire Whip, and you will perma-stun them for the full duration of firework. And effectively, you're looking at damage in the range of 1500 plus doing that Chaos Storm Fire Whip combo, which is quite powerful. Now, obviously in PvP, one of the big things to keep in mind is free aiming. We actually have a video that we just put up detailing how to free aim your Great Chaos Fire Orb to make sure you can hit enemies that are rolling or evading, so I would highly suggest taking a look at that. And with that being said, let's make our way up through the Cathedral and take down Aldrich. Where you at, Mr. Knight? I always love this first knight. Like, just from farming Concords, it's like ingrained in parrying this guy. Like, it's basically second nature to parry him at this point. Get melted. And given these enemies aren't weak to fire by any means, so even then, we're looking at pretty good damage. You can see, even with the block, he ends up taking a bit of damage there from the lava pool. Let's wrap him up with the weapon art. Oh no, just out of range. Stay back, Knight. Look at that range. Look at that range. So nice. If you really want, feel free to enchant your shield with either Simple or Blessed. A lot of people were asking why I ended up going Blessed over Simple in the Mage build, and quite simply, it's because with the cost of casts, you're not really going to see a you're not going to get enough regen out of Simple to really be able to continue casting. So with that in mind, I just ended up going for Blessed on that build, just to give me a little bit more consistent damage. Or not damage, a little bit more consistent health regeneration, excuse me. Now, a lot of people discount. It's actually exceedingly hard to continually talk as you record. Makes it a little bit harder, so if you're ever curious why all of a sudden it seems like I'm playing like crap and then suddenly I'm playing like good, well, that's what happens when you're trying to maintain a conversation while going through and showcasing stuff. So we're going to try and get off a Great Chaos Firestorm here. I don't know if I'll be able to. God, these guys are so annoying. Nope. Now I'm pinched in a corner. Oh, bad. Bad idea. Bad idea. Let's try. Here we go. Can I get it off? No. Get away, fatty. Yes! Everybody get cooked. I wish we had fireballs that casted that fast. Actually, we're going to go take out the big old thing that comes down. We will get the shortcut just in case we die. It would actually probably be prudent to go and refill up our flasks real quick before Aldrich, just because he is a massive pain of a fight to take on. Alright. Come here, spider pup. Woo! No! Oh god. Please don't curse me. Nope, could not turn around and get a lock on. Curse missed. That thing's dead. Those are weak to fire, though, of course, so that's not that surprising. Oh, we staggered it. And it looks like the lava pool is going to finish it off anyway. Alright, so I got 4... Yeah, we will go back to the bonfire real fast just because I want to have all of my flasks for the Aldrich fight. As you can see, damage, it's going to vary depending on the enemy. You know, the knights we were hitting 500. The slimes, which are weak to fire, we were hitting 1500. But a lot of the enemies are kind of normal resistance against fire. There's a few who are weak throughout the game. Man grubs in particular, fire absolutely decimates them. I'm pretty sure, I think Aldrich is actually fire weak. I mean, I'd imagine he is, considering these little blob things that are kind of like his, I don't know, dookie or skin flakes or whatever, considering they're weak to fire. We'll find out, though. I'm going to be really ballsy here, and I'm going to try and drop a Chaos Storm underneath him. If I can. If he doesn't cast arrows on me right as soon as this starts. Oh, nope, he's just going to bitch slap me instead. Alright, let's see if I can get this off. Not nearly as much damage as I thought. Oh my god, Great Chaos Fire Orb just ruined your life. Stop hitting me, boy. Oh, he's gonna go under. Oh god, I hate that thing. It kind of sucks for him, though, that the first one always knocks you down, because then the second one never actually hits. Stop that, Aldrich. Just stay back and get nuked. No, 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 no. Oh my god. Stay away, arrows. Most annoying spell in the entire game. Woo! How about you get cooked? Nice. Aldrich is down. I mean, I honestly did not expect the Great Chaos Fire Orbs to hit that hard. That was a little ridiculous. Like, I probably could have been hyper aggressive and taken him down a lot faster, but rather play things safe. Either way, though, guys, that's the build. You know, all there really is to it. Majority of PvE, you're going to be using your falchion. Feel free to use the whips against enemies that have shields, of course, as you get that bonus there. Great Chaos Fire Orb, your main damager. Chaos Storm for AoE. Fire Whip mainly for PvP, but can do some decent damage in PvE, just doesn't have the same stagger potential. So either way, at this point, sit on back, relax, enjoy some PvP, and we'll see you next time.